Welcome to the Vibrant Visibility Podcast. Being visible as a soul-led business owner isn't just about the practical strategies, marketing tips, and tech systems. It's also about the internal systems, the safety of your nervous system, the somatic connection, and the embodiment of being a badass CEO that will support you in all of the ups and downs of entrepreneurship. And I'm here to share all of that with you on this show. I'm your host, Shawnee Arsenault, a registered nurse turned visibility coach and business mentor for heart-centered coaches and healers. I created a six-figure coaching practice in my first year of business and scaled to multiple six figures my second year, all in the middle of getting pregnant with my first baby and becoming a new mama. If I can do this entrepreneurship thing, I know you can too. If you're ready to learn how to be a CEO in a way that feels aligned with your heart, become a lighthouse for the people that you're meant to serve, feel free to authentically express yourself and be a magnet for success, and grow your coaching business in a way that is sustainable and fulfilling, I can't wait to be in your ear along for the ride. Hello, welcome back to Vibrant Visibility. Merry Christmas. When this episode is scheduled to go out, it will be Christmas Eve, I believe. So I hope you all are having a beautiful holiday season. I hope the magic is in the air. I hope you feel all of the warm fuzzies this Christmas season. Christmas is absolutely my favorite time of the year. I'm a cold weather girly. I love like fireplaces and wearing socks and sweaters and cuddling up in the blanket. And the smells of Christmas season just really, I don't know. There's something about the smells of Christmas season. It's also the time of the year where we do our annual Harry Potter marathon, our annual Lord of the Rings marathon. Like we have our routine, our traditions around Christmas season. So Merry Christmas to all of you who are listening to this on the day that this is coming out or Christmas Day. This is going to be a really fun episode because today we are diving into something I know that many of you have experienced, and I've heard so many of you talk about this in the community. I've experienced this. It's something that I lovingly call shiny object syndrome. And before you roll your eyes because you feel personally attacked, know that I am not just calling you out, I'm calling myself out too, right? Because I have been there. I still am there sometimes. So let's get into it. Let's get into this topic of shiny object syndrome. Let's be real. Entrepreneurship is so wild. It's a roller coaster. The moment you decide to take your healing, your coaching, your expertise, your creative gifts in the online space, the internet becomes this endless maze of courses, of freebies, of impulse buys. How many of you have seen an ad for a $27 Canva template bundle that will finally make your Instagram look perfect and put together? Or if you download yet another free ebook from a 7-figure coach on their proven 5-step formula to success, oh my God, I can't explain how tempting it is to be pulled into those things, right? You sign up for a certification you don't really need, but then you convince yourself it's going to make you more experienced or a better coach, right? Like, does anybody else relate to this? Because I've seen myself get pulled into this spiral over and over and over again, and I know my clients have too. Shiny object syndrome is a real thing, right? It happens when we keep reaching outside of ourselves for the answers, when we believe that the one more thing will give us that confidence, that clarity, that like magic bullet that we're looking for in our business. But I think the real truth here is it's not about any of that. It's not about the courses, the templates, the programs. Shiny object syndrome actually is a sign that we're searching for something much deeper. We're searching for validation. Okay, why do we fall into this trap? I want to be really honest for a minute. When we buy another certification or we download another freebie, what we're really telling ourselves is, I don't know enough. I don't look professional enough. I'm not good enough yet. And that stings, right? Like, I know it's not always the case whenever we buy things online or we sign up for another certification. I know that's not always the case. I'm making a generalization here, but at least from my own experience and the experience that I have supported a lot of my clients through, this is an underlying theme of shiny object syndrome. And it stings a little bit to think about that, right? It sure does for me, at least. Again, speaking from my own experience, every time I have impulse bought a template bundle or a mini course or a membership or something, there has been a little bit of underlying, like, I don't know enough yet. I don't look professional enough yet. I'm not good enough. And that's where that shiny object syndrome meets our subconscious desires, right? Our subconscious desires to feel experienced. We want to feel experienced. So we sign up for the next certification. We want to feel like we're put together. So we buy all of the Canva templates and spend hours tweaking our aesthetic or our Instagram look. We want to feel legit. So we drop thousands of dollars on a website that we don't need yet. We want to feel successful. So we follow the formula that the latest successful coach that we've been connected with or that we've seen online, even if it feels out of alignment, even if their strategy or their method feels not completely like us. And look, none of these things are bad, okay? Certifications are extremely valuable. A polished website does have its place, right? Templates can save you time, but these things will never fix the feeling that you're not enough. They're never going to fix the underlying root problem of feeling like we're not enough, you know? Again, if this feels like this is calling you out, it's because it is. Like, I'm calling myself out here. Like, it's honestly kind of really hard for me to admit that I fall into this trap as well. But I want to share with you guys the real truth of the matter here. And that is the magic in your business doesn't come from outside of you. It comes from you. And that's one of the things that I've had to keep reminding myself over and over again. That's why I have my own channels for support. I have a one-on-one coach. I have a therapist. I have really close friends and a circle that I surround myself with that just reiterate back to me the magic that's inside me, you know? Okay, so how do we break free from shiny object syndrome? Like, how do we stop this endless cycle? Because again, I'll be totally transparent here. I'm not completely out of this cycle, you know? But here is what I've learned from my own business. I do find that I am improving at overcoming this, and I'm still learning daily. But here's what I've learned in my own business, right? There is such value in pausing before you buy. Right? Before you enroll in that course or snag that freebie from somebody, only to have it disappear into your files and you never look at it again. Just ask yourself, what am I hoping this will solve for me? Right? What am I hoping to gain from this? Is it something that I genuinely need, or am I looking for validation? Am I looking for someone to tell me what to do instead of looking within to figure out what the right answer is for me? Is this aligned with where I'm at in my business right now? You know, I am definitely guilty of downloading templates and signing up for courses and things for parts of my business that felt super advanced for where I was, you know? And I see my clients fall into this trap all the time as well. Is this aligned with where I'm at in my business right now? I see this a lot too inside of my membership. So I have a membership called Tech Mastery for Coaches, and it's essentially a membership space where coaches can come and not feel so overwhelmed with the tech portion of building their business. And you'll find that a lot of my resources in there are very, very tailored to specific stages of business. And I will tell my members all the time, ignore what is not for you, right? Permission to only take what you need and leave the rest, because it is very easy to get overwhelmed inside of that membership. I do have a lot of resources in there, and they all pertain to very different stages of business. So if you're not particularly in that stage of business, permission to totally disregard it and not even look at it, not even open it. And I always try to tell my clients inside of my membership to only focus on what's serving your business right now in the stage that it's in. Like, meet yourself where you're at. So pausing, taking that moment before you buy, before you sign up for something, before you download a freebie, pause. The second piece here is to really be honest with yourself. You might realize that you're chasing someone else's strategy for success instead of leaning into your own wisdom. You have a lot of really powerful information inside of your own intuition whenever it comes to marketing for your business, whenever it comes to growing your business. And I want you to be really, really honest with yourself to see if that is the case here, to see if you are chasing somebody else's strategy because you've seen them be successful and you want success too, even if it's not completely in alignment with who you are, right? And I think this can happen a lot in the beginning of starting your business whenever you are just a sponge and you're taking in all of the information, you're taking in all of the advice and the guidance from maybe your mentors or maybe people who have gone before you that are a little bit ahead of you. And it can be very tempting to try to follow their exact strategy so that you can create similar success to them. And I think that works up until a certain point, right? I think it works for the very beginning stages as far as the method of connecting and inviting. And then once you try something and you give it a fair shot and it still doesn't feel totally authentic, that's when we really have to start playing around with creating your own strategy, creating a strategy that feels really, really good and authentic and aligned and not fake. So really leaning into your own wisdom here, being super honest with yourself. I also want you to check in. This is the third piece here. I want you to check in with your desires, right? Shiny object syndrome is often a mirror for our deepest desires. Okay, so what is it that you really want? Do you want to feel confident in sharing your message? That's why you download all of these content templates online. Do you want to feel more secure in your skills as a coach or healer? That's why you signed up for this other certification. Do you want to build a business that feels really sustainable and aligned? That's why you signed up for this course or this membership or whatever it was. Right? Check in with what your actual desires underneath the buy is. And instead of reaching outside of yourself for the answer, try brain dumping all of those things. My mentor has this exercise that she had me do, and it's called a desire dump, where you literally just dump all of the things that you want. Try dumping everything out, maybe journaling, meditating about it, or even exploring somatic practices to connect with the truth that's inside of your heart. I do this a lot with my clients inside of Vibrant Visibility, my group coaching program. We slow down a lot in these calls and we tap into how it feels in the body, like what the truth is on their heart and identifying it. And that only happens when we take some time to really, really slow down and connect with ourselves, right? Rather than kind of seeking that validation or seeking the answers outside of yourself. The next thing you do is own your uniqueness. Okay. Let me tell you something. I know this to be true. I know this deep in my bones. You are the magic of your business. Okay. Your uniqueness, your story, your experiences, your voice, your weird little quirks, they are what make your work powerful. There's no like copy and paste strategy, no $27 bundle, no like viral TikTok formula that can replace the impact of you showing up authentically as you are. You don't need to do it like everybody else. I always encourage my clients to march to their own drum, to be a little bit rebellious, to trust themselves, like trust yourself that you know how to draw people to you. If you're married or in a relationship right now, think about how you attracted that partner to you. Or maybe you're thinking about like friendships, like how you attracted friends to you. There wasn't a formula that you followed, right? You just were yourself. And if you are in like a really stable, happy relationship, likely they are attracted to you because of who you are, to your core, what's inside of your heart, the way that you authentically snort whenever you laugh, the way that you get super excited over something really nerdy, like a new book coming out, right? Like those are the things that capture the magic of who you are, not a checklist of things that some other coach that you don't know, that knows nothing about you, gave to you, I even tell my clients all the time, like I'll give them guidance and I'll give them straight up advice, but they have no obligation to follow it if it doesn't feel in alignment. Now, if there's resistance to it because it's something they know that will help them be successful and it's something they want to do, but there's like some internal resistance to that, that's totally different. But if it's something that truly doesn't feel in alignment, like why force that, you know? That's what I like to always tell people whenever they are trying to decide whether or not they want to use social media as part of their marketing strategy in their business. I have clients that have built their practices totally off of social media and just did organic in-person connection. And then I have other clients who really leverage social media. They have huge followings and they really enjoy that part of marketing. And so there's not a right or wrong way here. It's just what feels the most in alignment for you. You know, I did have a client who really wanted to build her practice in person, and she kept pressuring herself to post on social media and to show up on social media. And I'm like, why are we doing this? Like, you don't even like that. So trusting yourself to know what feels in alignment and what feels like resistance, because those are two very different things. So a personal story, I'll be honest, I still fall into this trap sometimes of shiny object syndrome. Like I've impulse bought courses that I never finished. I've spent way too much time tweaking my own like templates and Canva designs and stuff because I thought that looking polished would give me credibility. And I've followed formulas from successful coaches and my own mentors that didn't feel right for me. But every time I return to my own heart, to my values, to my creativity, to what feels authentic to me, that's when magic truly happens. That's when things explode. That's when I find that the universe is kind of sending that energy back to me. And you don't need another shiny object. You don't need another certification, another course, another template, whatever, to be successful, right? What you need is trust. You need to trust yourself. This is a common theme that I've been helping a lot of my clients with over this last year alone, is that ability to lean into their own trust in themselves, right? To lean into your own voice and your own wisdom, to believe that you already have what it takes to create the business and life that you desire. You know, every strategy out there that has created success for other coaches is Googleable. Like you can Google exactly what they did, exactly how many times they posted on social media, how many people that they reached out to, the phrasing that they used to sell their courses, the structure for their email campaigns. Like you can Google all of that shit. And I think this is a really difficult part of authentic business building and heart-centered business building, is learning how to trust yourself, right? If you don't have that trust within yourself, it's going to be really hard to sustain your business. You're going to end up building a business that you feel burnt out in all the time because you're constantly chasing this external validation. So that self-trust is a really, really big theme that if you don't take anything else away from this episode, I want you to take this away. I want you to take away the message that trusting yourself and listening to that own inner voice, listening to your intuition is like the most important thing whenever it comes to growing and scaling your business. Okay, so here's my invitation to you. If you find yourself getting caught up in the shiny object syndrome, I want you to pause and ask yourself, what am I truly desiring right now? What are my true desires? And how do I know that those are my true desires, right? Like, how do I feel them in my body? Do they feel light? Do they feel expansive? Do they feel like me, like what's in my heart? I also want you to think about and reflect on, like, what part of me is it that needs the validation and reassurance, right? I always go back to like a really young part of me that got criticized and scolded for doing things differently or wrong. You know, I'm using air quotes, and that always sought to get permission from people to do it a certain way. So if there's that younger version of you or a past version of you that needed validation or reassurance to feel safe, can we identify that part? Can we connect with that part and meet the need, right? Meet that need of validation, reassurance. And then how can we give that to ourselves instead of searching for it externally? spending time with yourself, blocking off time for really supportive practices like meditation or breath work or journaling, or simply just alone time, stillness. You are enough exactly as you are. Your story, your experiences, your creativity, those are all more than enough to make the impact that you are here to make. When you think about every person in history that has created a big impact in our society today, they were 100% themselves. They didn't pretend to be somebody else. They had a unique perspective, a unique view that they brought to their communities. And that's what made the impact. So share your story, trust yourself. And if you feel like you want to go deeper into this, if you feel like you have this deep desire in your heart to do this work so that you can be more visible in your business, so that you can put yourself out there more in a very authentic, heart-centered way, I would love to invite you to join the waitlist for my program, Vibrant Visibility. We are starting the next round. It was going to be in February, but I pushed it back a little bit to March. The waitlist is open right now, and I have a super special offer coming just for people on the waitlist. But I want to be clear here. You do not need my program. You don't need anything outside of yourself to be successful. However, if your heart is calling you to explore this work, if it feels aligned and expansive and exciting, then let yourself lean into that. If there's any part of you that feels like this would just be another dopamine hit for that shiny object syndrome, obviously, it's not going to be in alignment. But if it feels like it's calling to you in a certain way, lean into it. Invitation here to listen to that nudge, because sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is trust the desires in our heart. So the link for the waitlist for Vibrant Visibility will be in the show notes for you. I would love to invite you into that space and support you there. I am currently in the midst of supporting my first group of Vibrant Visibility that started with me back in September. And I get chills thinking about that space, because it is such a beautiful thing to be able to witness people like coming back home to themselves and finding their voices again and showing up online and posting videos of themselves when they've never posted a video in their life before. So yeah, it's so rewarding to see people give themselves permission to be themselves, to honor the desires on their heart. Okay, thank you for spending some time with me today. I hope you have a beautiful Christmas again. If this episode resonated with you, I would love for you to share it with me. Take a picture or a screenshot and tag me on Instagram at nursecoachshawn with an E so I can cheer you on. I really love seeing the impact that these episodes make in my community. And don't forget to join me in my free Facebook group. I have a workshop coming up in about a month, a little less than a month, on the art of being seen. So that registration link will also be in the show notes for you. Until next time, my friends, keep being brave, keep being visible, keep trusting yourself, sending you so much love, and I will see you next week. Thanks so much for tuning in today. If this was helpful for you, subscribe to the show to make sure you're always in the loop when a new episode is out. And I would love to invite you to join me in the free Visibility and Tech Support for Coaches community, where we hang out and chat about all things visibility, tech, systems, and heart-centered business building. I regularly share tips and tutorials and go live every now and then, and it's just nice to be in a community with other like-minded coaches and healers. So you can join this free space at alignwellco.com/community, and I can't wait to see you there.